Have you ever had chicken pox, mononucleosis or mono, a cold, the flu? If you answered yes to any of these, then you have been infected by a virus. Another infamous virus is HIV, the virus that causes AIDS. I bet you've heard of that one. Today we're going to review TEKS 4C, one of the readiness standards for your biology EOC exam. Let's look at exactly what you are expected to know about viruses. The student is expected to compare the structures of viruses to cells, describe viral reproduction, and describe the roles of viruses in causing diseases, such as human immunodeficiency virus, or HIV, and influenza. So, we need to figure out what a virus is and how it compares to the cells that make up your body and all other living things. We also need to find out how viruses reproduce and how they cause diseases. Understanding viruses is important because if we understand how viruses work, we can find better cures for many of the diseases they cause. Let's start with the first part. Compare the structures of viruses to cells. Think about cells. Try to imagine what a cell looks like. How many parts can you remember? Look at this picture of an animal cell and see how many parts you can name. You also have this picture in your student guide. What is the name of this cell part? That's right. This is the nucleus. This is where your DNA is found and where all of the control of the cell is found. What is this cell part? This is the mitochondrion. This is where food is broken down for energy. What are these small black organelles in this picture? Yes, those are the ribosomes. Ribosomes are where proteins are made. What about the purple outer covering of this cell? What is that called? That is the cell membrane. That's important for determining which substances can go in and out of the cell. Where would you expect to find this cell's DNA? What is the DNA's function? If you said DNA is in the nucleus, you're absolutely right. Remember, DNA determines your traits by telling your cells how to make proteins. Which cell part is responsible for the production of proteins? If you said ribosomes, way to go! These cell parts are important in a few minutes, so keep them in mind as we continue. Now let's look at a virus and see if we can figure out what a virus is. Do you notice anything that looks similar to a cell? What about differences? Notice that the viruses do not have organelles or other cell parts. No mitochondria, no cell membrane, no ribosomes. That's because a virus is not made of cells. That's one of the main reasons viruses are not considered living. They are not made of cells. That is also why viruses cannot be treated with antibiotics. Antibiotics don't work on viruses because viruses are not alive. Viruses are much smaller than even the smallest cells. Notice on this picture that the bacterium is very much larger than the herpes virus or the influenza virus. Now let's look at how a virus is similar to a cell. There is one very important thing shared by both a cell and a virus. Did you catch it? They both have nucleic acids. Remember, there are two types of nucleic acids. In this example, this virus has RNA, and this virus has DNA. The other main part of a virus is a protein coat called a capsid. In this picture, you can see it on the outside here and the white line on this picture. All viruses have these two main structures, nucleic acids and a capsid. Be sure to highlight or star these parts on your student guide. Some viruses have other parts, as you can see from the picture, but those two are the most important. It is important to remember what a capsid is made of. Do you remember? That's right, protein. Now answer the question at the bottom of page 1. Let's see if you got it. Decide whether each of the following statements is true or false. See if you can get them all correct. HIV, colds, and the flu are caused by bacteria. That is false. HIV, colds, and the flu are caused by viruses. Viruses are surrounded by a cell membrane. False. Viruses are not made of cells, so they cannot be surrounded by a cell membrane. Both cells and viruses have ribosomes. This is also false. Only cells have organelles. Viruses do not have ribosomes or other organelles. Both cells and viruses have nucleic acids. Yes, that one is true. Cells and viruses both have nucleic acids, such as DNA, or in viruses, RNA. Viruses are considered living. This one is very false. They are not considered to be living because they're not made of cells. A virus is smaller than a cell. This is true. Good for you.